Hey, welcome to This Week in Gear. I'm Nick Caruso, and you are watching the news show for product enthusiasts. And we have got a heaping helping for you, but just be warned, these are just some of the news stories that we've covered at GearPatrol.com in the last week, including a brand new vehicle from Mini, high-end but low-cost headphones that you won't want to miss, and a limited edition chronograph from Oris. And then later on, I'm going to be chatting with Home and Drinks editor Will Price about why he thinks cold brew coffee sucks. I also think this sucks, but it's just not about me. This is about what Will thinks, and I have to remember that. Anyway, if you want more information about anything we cover in this week's episode, or you just want to see more product news, check out GearPatrol.com. Find us on our social channels, or if you're watching on YouTube right now, look at the link in the description below. There are a bunch of them down there. I'll add links to all of our online coverage so you can read to your heart's content. And now, let's get started. As a brand, Mini is one of the most iconic in car history. Its original Mini Cooper, which is decades and decades old, was an automotive revelation when it debuted way back when. And when BMW took over the brand in 2000, they resurrected the entire thing, brought the Mini Cooper back, and made it this sort of retro modern vehicle, and it blossomed in popularity. Since then, every generation of the Mini Cooper has also blossomed in size, and BMW, helming the company, has expanded the model lineup too to include all sorts of different vehicles, like all-wheel drive vehicles and new convertibles and two-seat coupes and new hatchbacks, and you get the idea. Well, now it seems that the company is ready to make their biggest vehicle yet, but the question is, will America want it? And the answer is yes.
According to a report from Autocar, Mini will be offering a four-door crossover in the US for 2024, and it will reportedly be called the Traveler. It would be the biggest Mini yet, it will use internal combustion power, and it will slot above the Countryman in both size and price. Having a Mini big enough to be relatively practical should appeal to people on paper. Here's what to expect. A compact utility vehicle starting at over $30,000, meaning it's placed somewhere between the Toyota RAV4 or Honda CR-V and the BMW X3. Even though Americans have been buying small crossovers at a rapid pace, converting Mini's general aesthetics to larger vehicles has been a challenge for the company. So the actual popularity of this vehicle remains to be seen. Also, on a separate note, we've learned that the next Mini hatchback will allegedly feature a smaller footprint, a hybrid option, and less, quote, campy interior design. The John Cooper Works performance version will stick around too. And probably the best news coming from Mini right now is that the company is once again making manual transmissions available for the 2021 model year.
It seems everybody these days is walking around with these little white plastic nubs in their ears, and if you're the type who sort of eschew that and go for over-ear or on-ear headphones, it probably means you want the best quality sound possible delivered straight into your brain. And if that's so, you probably have a little streak of audiophile in you. If that describes you, and you've got $400, you're going to want to listen up, because the brand Audeze is bringing planar magnetic headphones to the masses.
Audeze focuses on making headphones that utilize planar magnetic drivers rather than conventional dynamic drivers found in most headphones. Planar headphones offer a higher range of sound, but traditionally cost a boatload. Audeze has recently introduced models, the LCD-1 and Mobius gaming headset, that are priced, remarkably, at under $400. Though it should be noted that its flagship LCD range of headphones still cost up to $3,995. So if you appreciate good sound, these headphones promise to be noticeable upgrades from the standard pair of over-ears you've been using, thanks to that planar magnetic technology. Planar magnetic headphones send magnetic signals through a thin film that covers the entire speaker diaphragm, rather than through a small coil found in conventional headphones. This involves, as you might expect, a complex production process, but Audeze keeps costs low by making their own planar films and by being selective about materials used, among many other practices. Now, planar headphones aren't the best you can buy. Electrostatic headphones are the best, but those are priced pretty much only for professionals and extreme audiophiles. So what do you think? Is $400 for intensely good sound music to your ears?
Here's a news flash. Bronze no longer means third place. Now it officially stands for very cool, very rare watch. To be more specific, we're talking about the limited edition of the Oris Diver 65 chronograph that's just launched. It features the first Swiss-made solid bronze watch bracelet. Now that's heavy.
At first, the Oris Divers 65 chronograph was only available in various limited editions, which meant purchasing one was a difficult proposition. Then last year, we were given a non-limited version in the form of a handsome steel watch with bronze accents. Now, those who love the idea of an all-bronze version are in for a serious treat: the Oris Holstein Edition 2020. The Holstein Edition 2020 is a limited edition version of the Diver 65 chronograph, and evidently the first watch to feature a Swiss-made all-bronze bracelet. Here are the stats. The 43mm case is solid bronze with a stainless steel caseback, screw-down crown and pushes, and 100 meters of water resistance. It features a unidirectional rotating bezel with bronze insert and a domed sapphire crystal. The dial is gold-plated and has black sub-registers, rose gold-plated indices, and super luminova lume. Inside is an automatic Oris 771 movement, and of course, there's that beautiful bronze bracelet. Priced at $5,200, the Holstein Edition 2020 is limited to just 250 pieces, and it's available now online or through Oris boutiques. And if you want to reserve a specific number in the limited series, you can do that online. Will, can you hear me?
I can hear you. How you doing?
Hello, I'm good. You are in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in Michigan. We are in the midst of a work-from-home environment, and we are here to talk about cold brew coffee. Is that true?
That is true. It's 92 degrees. It is before noon. I am ready to stop drinking hot coffee.
All right. Thanks for pointing out my verbal tics.
Anytime.
So, cold brew coffee sucks. We have a post on the site that explains this. Can you give me just the quick rundown on what that means?
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of diehards out there who's sort of peeved or prickled by this. I get it. You have your routine, do your thing. Cold brew coffee sucks kind of breaks down into a few things. One is the method itself lends itself to sort of one-noted coffee drinking.
Okay.
What I mean by that is because you're brewing over such a long period of time, You're stripping each individual coffee ground, if you can think of them that way, of every single bit of oil or flavor that's on them. As it turns out, most of the oil or flavor that's on a ground of coffee, if you pull all of it off, will result in sort of a more bitter, more chocolatey coffee. So
Right.
It kind of eliminates some of the nuance that you might experience in single origins or other nerdy coffee stuff.
Okay, so you want only, when you're making coffee hot, like you pour over, you really just want to extract the best of the oils and the best of the flavors, and then just hit it and just pull
it's
the
about balance,
grounds away.
Better or worse is one thing, but like just making a coffee it does have a little bitterness, it has a little acidity, it has a little sweetness. When you brew cold brew, that extended brewing process, kind of just means you taste one thing. So for some people, whatever, that's what you're into. Mix it with some milk, do your thing. For other people, it's not as satisfying.
Okay, so for those other people then, what are we to do, if not cold brew?
Yeah, there's like a few routes. Cold brew's greatest strength, in my opinion, is its ability to sit in your fridge for 5 to 7 days after brewing,
Right.
and use it. Just dump it out every morning into some ice with some water. I get that. That's a very, very strong, feature. But there's a few options. What I personally do, I have a little device called a cold wave chiller, and I'm sure there are other devices out there like it. It's essentially
I've seen
a
this.
pitcher.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's essentially a pitcher with almost like it looks like nuclear reactor rods shoved down in it that are filled with frozen water. So when you pour your hot coffee into that, which I can just use I can use any coffee I normally brew out of whatever drip machine I have. I can pour it into that pitcher, and then I drop my frozen nuclear rods down in there, and in about 60 to 90 seconds, it's ice cold. That's what I do.
You're up to full power at that point. You probably could power a small city, depending on
something like that.
How strong you
something
brew
like
it. There's some analogy to be made.
And that thing's like $30 to $40.
Right.
That's about the same price, if not cheaper, than most cold brewers out there. And you also don't have to sort of like learn a new brewing trick, and it doesn't change your routine much at all.
Okay, so that's if we want to make it ourselves. I know, because I work with you, and we've talked about this before, that there are other ways to procure cold coffee without making it yourself, including some cans.
Yeah, it's like, I think a canned coffee gets a bad rap, generally speaking, and I think probably fairly for the last decade or whatever. A lot of places have tried it and have put people off to it because they've stuffed the cans with things to make the coffee inside more shelf stable. So lots of milks and sweeteners and stabilizers and things that just make the coffee, don't make it so it doesn't taste like coffee, not to mention adding tons of calories and sugar that you don't necessarily need with the caffeine you're already getting.
Right. They often come in those long, skinny cans, and you use them on a road trip. Is it kind of
right? Yeah, you buy it at the gas station, and then because the gas station hot coffee is somehow worse than that. Yeah, that's sort of what they've been relegated to. And the exceptions are few, but they are like true exceptions. There's a company called Elemental Beverage Company that makes excellent iced coffee. It can be pricey. It can be like $4 or $5 a can, so it's not something that I would drink every day at that price. Verve makes excellent canned coffee. Verve is it's with a V, with their California-based roaster that's sort of become larger and larger over time. There are some others. Intelligentsia and Blue Bottle have, and even to a different extent, La Colombe. These are all different roasters that have variations of canned coffees. That some of them are those kind of like draft lattes or canned mocha, whatever's. But some of them do have just good, whether it's like a nitro coffee or just a straight up flash brew. It's excellent, but like I said, they can be pricey. So to use them on a daily basis is what can be challenging if you're operating on a budget, basically.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, we've got a lot of options here. We could go on and on about other methods. You've talked about things called, what is the Japanese pour over cold brew? Is something to mention really quick?
YouTube Japanese iced coffee. I don't really know the provenance of Japan inventing the specific brewing method, but if you YouTube it, you'll find what I'm talking about.
Okay.
It makes exceptional coffee. You just have to try a little harder for it.
All right. Well, sometimes things you love are worth trying hard to get.
Well said, Nick. Good close.
Is that the moral we're coming away with here?
Yeah, it seems that way.
Okay, good. Remote emotional learning with Gear Patrol. This is good. Well, thanks, Will. Hopefully you can procure enough cold coffee down there that is to your satisfaction to stave off the Florida heat. And everybody watching at home can do the same wherever they are.
As you can tell, my face sort of failing with that right now, but I will. I will do my best.
Yeah, hit the showers after this. Okay.
Appreciate it.
All right, take care, Will. We'll see you later.
Like I mentioned up top, the product news doesn't stop on GearPatrol.com, and it certainly doesn't stop here on YouTube. It keeps going in many other forms on our social media channels. And to discuss the upcoming Instagram story schedule that you won't want to miss is my good friend, Aisha.
Hey everyone, I'm Aisha. I'm on the marketing team here at Gear Patrol, and I'm super excited to be sharing everything that we're cooking up on social media this week. Kicking off the week, we've got Sneakers of Note with Meg Lappy, who'll test out the All Birds runners. Tuesday, we're sharing our favorite wallpapers, showcasing 5 beautiful images to click and save as your background. Wednesdays are for whiskey. We're jumping in with our home editor, Will Price, who'll share what he's been drinking these days. Thursday is our Autodesk featuring Will Sable-Courtney, who'll test out a Rolls Royce. And then Friday, we're focusing on the Jarvis Bamboo Standing Desk by Fully, featuring our video producer, Casey Martin. As always, feel free to tune in on our Instagram at Gear Patrol, DM us all your questions, and we'd love to hear from you. And that's everything that we've got going on next week. Back to you, Nick.
Well, that's it for this week. No doubt your gear appetite is still going strong, and if it is, head on over to gearpatrol.com for plenty more gear product news. And check out our social media channels. And if you're here on YouTube, make sure you subscribe so you never miss any video news and reviews. And of course, check the description below to read up on anything we talked about in this week's episode. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you're well, and take care. We'll see you next week.